is Patrick Amara. You know, there's no dull day in Uganda. A friend of mine was just joking that if you blink in Uganda, you can miss news of a lot of stuff will have gone. And somebody was saying that in just 3 days, we have had so much news that could have maybe filled an entire year. And some of them misfortune, some of them accidents, some of them grand theft, and some of them public spectacle of how government is trying to deal with the people who are considered to be, who are accused of being corrupt. Let me introduce my panel this evening. From the Great Lakes Institute for Strategic Studies, I have Mr. Godba Tomuchabe. Thank you so much for joining us. Godba, good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, Patrick, and my colleague Godfrey, and good evening, our listeners.
Also we have, like we always joke that the government is here with us, because we don't have a minister, a member of the government.
The old government is around.
Outgoing government.
Well, since the appointing authority is back, we can imagine the team, his winning team, will be back too. So, the Honorable Godfrey Kabyanga, Minister of State for ICT and National Guidance, thank you so much for being here, sir.
Good evening, listeners. I'm happy to be here with Godba. And I know it's happened now. We are working.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone, Godfrey.
I really, that's not fair. That's not fair to your colleagues. Because they are facing the fire. You can't be saying you're working.
No, the Pirao people are very, very happy.
I was playing a song. The radio was playing a song. I think it's Jamaican. They were saying, big boys, what you gonna do when they come for you? You never know, Godfrey, they could come for you.
That's what good boys waiting for.
But okay, so now, when you look at the headlines the last couple of days, they're all about graft, corruption, abuse of office, and suspected stealing of government resources. We're talking about colossal sums of money, amassing property at almost an industrial scale, if I may use that word.
I like industrial scale.
because the thinking was huge. Because sometimes, as human beings, you can drive one car at a time, sleep in one house at a time, sleep on one bed at a time. So sometimes when you have so many, you wonder, what are they going to use them for? But maybe some of us who cannot understand, when you're operating at a certain level
of the Godfrey,
much down. You cannot understand. You cannot understand the Bible of Godfrey. You may not understand them. Yes. So maybe that's why you have people like you to make us understand what is it that really pushes you to get all this. Some people call it primitive accumulation, but well, these are still investigations going on. But let me be specific with you, Godba, very fast. When you see what we see now, is the government, institutions and police and intelligence officials, are they playing for the gallery, or they are for sure fighting graft?
Yeah, no, for me, I have said time and again that what we're saying is basically drama.
Drama?
This is drama. It also emphasizes the point that I have made time and again, that every time you ask yourself, do we actually have a government? Because you see, if you have a government that is organized, that is disciplined, that has systems that work, there is no way you can have a public official of the level of a Speaker of Parliament indulge in the kinds of excesses that we are seeing being displayed in the public.
But who is displaying it?
So that's number one.
Yeah, this time the government is available, I suppose.
No, you see, you are not getting my point. That government would only be prove that it was available if it was able to stop the excesses. The fact that the excesses have happened, because you see, the reason I'm calling it a drama is that everybody is jumping around like they have found like a discovery. Anita has been here. His excesses have been very open in the public. And you can't say you are government and then all of a sudden you wake up and say, we have discovered someone who is indulging in all these excesses and grand thuggery and all kinds of, all manner of misconduct. The question would be, where have you been? Have you been sleeping? Maybe that's why the president now said, this is Ksanja, no sleep. It means that they have been sleeping and now they have woken up. Number two, you cannot have a government that conducts itself in a manner that almost demobilizes institutions of state. So all you are seeing now is the executive branch of parliament, of government, essentially ransacking the legislative branch because of a person who has committed a crime. Because in a functional government, there must be a difference between a speaker of parliament and an individual called Anita or Patrick Kamara or Godbert Mushabe. So when you come in to investigate the way the government agencies are trying to do, you have to be able to be conscious on the implications of your actions on the institutions of state. So essentially, at this moment, you can't figure out where is Parliament left. Parliament right now is a crime scene. That's basically what has been demonstrated out there, that you have Parliament now as a crime scene. Number three is that when you see the way the story has been choreographed, we are fighting corruption. So the guys who are announcing the operations are Kabanda, Mawanda, Namere, some random guys who stand up there in public and talk about these public officials, and of course then they evoke Muhoozi, who is the Chief of Defense Forces. I still don't understand, and Godfrey, this is maybe to you. I still don't understand the people like Godfrey and others who say they are supporters of General Muhoozi. Why they have decided almost to reduce him from a CDF into a regular cop? Because you see, ordinarily, when you have operations of this nature that deal with the crime, the institution of state that is at the front line is Uganda Police. So the mere fact that you're having all these operations and the Muhoozi is tweeting, his aides are screaming how they have nailed Anita Mong, and the IGP is missing in action. That has to worry you as Ugandans.
But Godba, if you have a public official who is amassing, property the way they're doing, and you think maybe that indicates government is not there, well, they could have let it slide. They could have let it go the way it has gone. But right now, when they step up, and the third most important person in the land is facing investigation. If you can listen, isn't that an indication? But they could have let it slide in the past. They may have failed to nip it in the bud. They may have failed to nip it in the bud. But they're working now.
No, but what does that mean? Where do you leave the institution called the Parliament? This woman was implicated in the stealing of the Mabati for Karamoja. She's been moving around distributing money all over the place like there is no other, like there is no tomorrow. And the government has been there watching, and therefore when they come and then they start creating this drama, so we are all supposed to be excited. No, we can't, and Ugandans shouldn't, because Ugandans deserve a disciplined government. So are you suggesting that the Anita Among spectacle is they're using her as a pawn in the political game? As far as I'm concerned, first of all, I have said time and again that when you have a bunch of thieves, even catching one thief is good enough. So that's something to say. Okay, at least you've reduced. If they are 10, you've reduced them by 1. But that does not mean that the theft has gone away. So what I would want to see is a whole of government system that is addressing the problem of the hemorrhage that is going on. Because you see, the hemorrhage, the biggest theft that is happening is not what Anita Mong has done. Anita Mong can have this money and this car and the other one. That's peripheral. The biggest theft is that you have a person who is Speaker of Parliament that can even put MPs on payroll can buy them to do even pass legislation, just pay them to pass legislation. That is the biggest corruption. The corruption, by the way, Godfrey, is the fact that all of a sudden this PLU group is the one saying, oh, we have endorsed this speaker and endorsed this one. An illegal group run by the Chief of Defense Forces, because this is unprecedented, Patrick, that you can have a Chief of Defense Forces of any country running a political party or a pressure group, and it is normal, and the people are there cheering, educated people, accomplished people. It's just, it's very difficult to imagine that Ugandans, we are basically, we are almost ruled this way. I don't understand, because I look at us and feel like, but sure, is this how we are supposed to be as a country? Yeah, and can't these guys count us some clever?
Okay.
It's really, I find it difficult to imagine for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
You made your point. Let me come to you, Honorable Godfrey Kabyanga. The United States and the United Kingdom pointed at choosing fingers the Speaker of Parliament, actually even indicted her on charges of being corrupt. And look, for years, the government was like, you can do whatever you do, you don't agree. But look, these have vindicated the Americans and the British for having earlier said this person is not good for public office and should not even come to our countries.
First of all, let me first tell Godba that there is no paralysis in government.
There's only analysis.
I know. Because the Right Honorable Anita is a former speaker.
She's still Right Honorable.
Yes. Was Right Honorable, you die one. even in Ndugurugunda is still Right Honorable, former Prime Minister. Those are titles which don't disappear. People work for them. So even Right Honorable Anita worked for it. There's no paralysis, because you know that Parliament will be fully constituted on 25th of this month.
Next Monday. So, the Right Honorable Anita Mong is an outgoing speaker, former Speaker of Parliament. So, you can't say Parliament is not sitting because probably Right Honorable Anita Mong is under investigation. No. And by the way, she's free to contest for even Speaker.
Yes, she's free to contest for even Speaker. Nobody bars him from doing so.
She only may not get the endorsement.
She will not get the endorsement of the party, because she has already indicated herself that she's not coming on as Speaker on an NRM ticket. So she's free. So there is no paralysis at all. Parliament will be constituted on the 25th, fully constituted, and it will immediately begin her work. All other arms of government are operating. The judiciary is operating. There is no paralysis. The executive, the president is there. He's already performing his duties, and I think soon he will also appoint ministers, and the executive will be fully constituted. But already he has given powers to the permanent secretaries to perform some of the ministerial duties. He has signed an instrument. So there is no paralysis at all. And I want the public to know that. Yes, the Americans came up with the allegations, and we received them in good faith. But the government had to carry out our own investigations, because you couldn't just operate on intelligence given by the United States or the UK. So since that time, investigations have been going on till there was enough evidence, and then the government swung in action. And the president stated it clearly that he has to get, if you are to fight corruption, you must have enough evidence, so that you don't just go haphazard. And all along, that evidence the operatives have been
so all along they've been gathering evidence.
Oh yes, and now they are ready to move. That's why they're in action right now, and I would like to assure the public that the due process of the law will be respected, and I only pray that investigations are done as fast as possible, so that if there are any charges, whoever is concerned can know what the charges are, and
so you don't know the charges?
No, because this one is a suspect. Nobody has gone to court right now.
No, you cannot be a suspect if there are charges.
No, these ones, and that's why I told you the allegations. And I have told you.
So what are the allegations?
When the charges are brought against whoever is concerned, that's when now we shall know what the case is. But at least they are investigating corruption. It is a corruption case, abuse of office, and that's why you see that the houses, the offices are being searched, and in the presence of whoever is accused or their lawyers. So let us wait when police and the other security organs have completed their work. I think
there are those, Honorable Kabyanga, who think that this exercise is being conducted in a manner as if they are playing for the gallery to show off we are fighting, so that the angry mob can feel like, okay, they are working. And that seems to be the case. That couldn't they have handled it in any other way?
Those are the good bars who are thinking like that. But you cannot direct security officers or investigation officers how to operate. It's the way they have wanted it done.
No, actually,
and that is it.
There are rules. There are rules, Godfrey.
Which rules?
There are rules that govern investigations.
Which rules?
First of all, Godfrey.
That have not been followed.
Godfrey, let me tell you. Let me tell you. It is wrong for government of Uganda and its law enforcement agencies to go and pick on Kabyanga and go and ransack your places. And sometimes they even arrest you, and then they start looking for offenses to charge you. The right procedure is that you do the investigations, and you come up with holding charges, and you actually get an indictment that brings Kabyanga into the judicial system, into the criminal justice system. So what the way the Ugandan law enforcement agencies operate, they actually also operate like villagers, like the same Anita Mongo has been, basically running around almost like a villager, doing things that you wouldn't expect a speaker to do. Now you would expect that Uganda police, and I mean most of these Uganda police, these are professionals. They are educated and highly accomplished people. I don't think that it is necessary to get all these things that they have gotten and then you almost throw them on social media. These are exhibits. So the drama is being played.
The people conducting all these investigations, whatever you're seeing, are professional. Some of them are lawyers like you. And therefore, I don't see.
But being lawyers doesn't mean that all of you have to act illegal, because you can act illegally even when you are a lawyer.
So you mean you can also
we had the Kareki here presiding over kidnapping of people and everybody else. What didn't we have? This is a lawyer with a master's degree.
What is being done is being done within the law, and those people who are doing it are professional policemen. And assisted by other security organs, because these are joint operations, depending on the magnitude of the
police is scared.
Yes. No, not scared, but they always get support from other.
The right Honorable Anita Mong in the whole campaign that has just been concluded was the master of ceremony for every President Museveni campaign rally that he held across the country. And